Hey, it's Heidi from A Lively Hope, and for today's video, I thought it would be fun to take you through my process of creating an embroidery kit or pattern for my shop. Generally, I start by working out an idea in my sketchbook. In this instance, I knew I wanted to create an aspen grove, and I knew that I wanted to have blobs of distinct colors of yellow. I wanted to have a medium yellow, a light yellow, and a dark yellow. And I wanted those all to be distinct organic shapes, little blobs of color next to each other. So I'm kind of working that out here in my sketchbook. I've blended these yellows from light to dark. And then I also knew that I wanted to have some green and like a lighter brownish green on the floor of this aspen grove. And I knew that I wanted that to have some texture, which you will see me add a little bit later. So here I'm just kind of working through the shading and figuring that all out in my sketchbook. I allowed those layers to dry, and now I'll come back in with some more layers of yellow and some little details on the ground. I knew I wanted it to be seed stitch, which you will see that is what I ended up using in the kit. But again, this is really just me kind of wrapping my brain around what this is going to look like. Once I have the idea kind of mapped out in my sketchbook, I will then take it to my iPad, and in Procreate, I draw out what I want the final pattern to look like. So you can see this is much more refined than what was in my sketchbook, much more definite, so that I can then use this in kits and patterns for people to purchase and follow the instructions. Hey, so today is May 20th, and And I wrapped up my big embroidery piece last week, and I've kind of been in limbo a little bit between what I want to work on. I have some shows coming up in June and July, so I need to get some pieces finished for that. And I also needed a break from working on just one big piece forever and ever. I found when I was spending so many hours a day working to finish up that nevertheless piece, I got really burned out on it. I'm used to switching between lots of different, maybe some admin tasks, and then I sit and stitch for a bit, and then I take my kids to a lesson and I work on a different project there, and, lots of kind of changing around. And I was just spending 6 or 8 hours a day working on that piece to finish it up in time. And my brain is tired of the big stuff. So I'm working on this design. It's Aspens. It will be available as a kit and a pattern probably less than a month from now, maybe middle of June. Maybe sooner if I can get things together and get the thread cards and everything ordered. But so I have a couple of hours right now to get some work done. I'll flip this around so you can see what I'm working on, and we will see how much I can get done. Well, you see my book right here. This was a gift from my sister. Have you read Frederick Bachman? My favorite. I've read everything he's written. I love it all. I was really worried about this one. I'm only on page or like chapter 3, but it's wonderful so far. I've heard good things about it, so I'll let you know if I have any strong feelings about it. Because it's Frederick Bachman, I probably will have strong feelings, and they will be very positive. Okay, let's see how this Aspen piece is turning out. So I've got this in my favorite little stand. It's really helpful for holding. It goes under my leg like this. And then I just hold it. I have to keep my feet out because I am short and they don't touch the floor. But here's this. I just finished the final tree trunk, which was very boring. I got so tired of those. But now I'm going to be working on adding the leaves and then some just kind of foliage and stuff on the ground here. So I'm happy with how that's coming together. And millions of French knots. So here's how it's looking now. I'm really loving it. I like the different yellows blending together. I'm really happy with how the trunks turned out. It's definitely going to be one of my favorite pieces once it's done. But my goodness, that is a lot of French knots. Look at that. So many French knots. It'll be worth it in the end. Okay, plugging along. This is how I finish a hoop. I iron the piece, I make sure it's really nice and tight in the hoop. There's no wrinkles. It's very tight and secure. And then I cut an inch or two around the outside, which, that's going off the shot there. And then I do kind of a running stitch around the outside. I do not tie a knot in the end of the thread. I just make sure that my thread is long enough to go all the way around, and then give myself a little extra, and then I do a running stitch around the entire hoop. Then I will cinch it down and tie it off so that it stays nice and tight, and this works really well for me. I take these all over the place and display them in market booths, and I've never had a problem with this coming undone before. So here it is, all finished. It was definitely a labor of love. Those French knots were a lot. But it's now available as a kit and a pattern in my shop, and I would love for you to make one. Happy stitching!